little bit late, just a little bit. Rolling over my pants. I'm wearing a big loose jumper. Whew. It was tricky getting in this morning. So I'm going to show you guys. Bunny has been naughty. I don't know what happened between like up until yesterday She's been getting more and more naughty about like pooing on the couch. She's decided it's totally okay. No matter how many times I take her off the couch and put her in her litter box and put the poo in and make her smell it. It's like nothing, but still. And so yesterday, she peed on the couch, not once, not twice, but 3 times. And she's so sneaky and quiet about it. So I found them all last night when my son and I went to sit down to watch movies. We have this enzyme spray that is supposed to consume the urine. So if you have any kind of pet that does any sort of, I'm going to actually grab it so you can see it because it's a miracle. It's called All Natural Out Spot, okay? It does not, and I'm knocking over my guitar. It does not have like chemicals, it's enzymes. And this is what it looks like. It's stain and odor remover. And this has like a really nice actual scent that leaves behind. And it's, you put it on, you saturate well, you soak up as much of the pee as you can, you saturate it, and then you leave something wet over the top of it, like a wet towel, for at least like 4 or 5 hours. Sometimes even longer. Sometimes it's like, 4 hours for enzyme to work into stain. Keep it moist by covering with plastic wrap or damp cloth. Reapply for stubborn stains. So this just takes it completely away. You don't have any smell of it. It doesn't dry and dust come up as dust or any of that yuckiness that you can have with pet odor. So this morning, I'm so excited, you guys. It's like it's evolving a little bit more. The Fractured State Oracle deck is totally evolving. It's going to be so amazing. I'm just going to tell you one thing that came out, and it just was a result of just like, that's it. I'm just going to write out all the cards. Just what are they? Number them and write them down. And it became really clear it needed to be a Fractured States deck with their chakra oracle cards. Yes, I'd be happy to. This is the bottle. And you can get it on Amazon too, like in a big amount, but like a bottle lasts a long time. It's great for, it eats all of the enzyme fortified for multiple uses, gets rid of stains and odors naturally. I mostly use it on pet stuff, but I think I've even used it on like coffee before. You know how if milk gets in your carpet and it just leaves that yuckiness. So anyway, this works on that stuff too. I love this stuff. It's great. Okay, so we don't have, do we have card? We do. We have one card pull, the one from yesterday, right? And let me get over there. I wrote it down because I have to. This is how we set ourselves up for success. Melanie, yes, and I even saw you on. Yes. So we have 2 more slots for card pull. And yeah, that's right. Okay, so my announcements, morning announcements, now that I've done my product placement, maybe I should contact them. Let's see, dinner with Jessie at Isan Thai. We sold out for the breakfast now, so if you still want to do something like that, I've got a dinner with Jessie at Isan Thai scheduled for June 2nd. Isan Thai, you're welcome, Melanie. Isan Thai is my favorite. Yes, Kristen. I have a friend named Kirsten, and it took me forever, and a sister named Kristen. So it took me forever to stop calling Kirsten Kristen, and now I'm struggling calling you Kirsten. Okay, so Kristen, one more slot. And then I decided to do for July because it's so beautiful, and we have a really beautiful courtyard, and I've got a beautiful dining room. I thought it would be fun to do a special lunch at Jessie's place. So that one, because my table or my downstairs table fits so many, awesome. Your sister's Kristen. Because my table fits so many, I can actually have up to 6 people join. So the tickets are more because your food, and I'll cook for us and provide drinks, so you just have to show up. Yeah, so the tickets and everything, it's on the website under events, and it's listed below the dinner with Jesse. And oh yes, I'm so excited, you guys. I'm joining Maria Anderson's women's retreat in July. It's a 4-day retreat. Now, Maria Anderson, if you want to know more about her, you can actually go to the Healing Pathwalker YouTube channel, or I could even post it. Actually, I'll post it in our group. And she talks about her experience. She's a nurse from the East Coast, worked in the VA for years and years, so she's been supporting vets, which I have a soft spot for. Most of my family, a lot of my family are vets. And so she has been working with the VA for years, or was, and actually came here and translated her her understanding and awakening energy awareness into this group of other doctors and nurses and people who got a grant from the government to incorporate holistic healing practices in the VA as an experimental treatment program up here in Washington, in Vancouver. So she's amazing. Like, she's a really neat woman. And I'm excited to work with her group. She works with people who are more medically trained, who are just as comfortable navigating the seas of the woo world as they are navigating the seas of like the everyday man. And that's what we have to remember, is that we're a bridging generation, right? We're this bridger. And the only way to ensure that we have as many of these people get this third density and translate over is to have bridges, ways for them to walk, and pathways. And that's the whole point of Healing Pathwalkers. So I love it. I'm super excited to join them. I'm going to be doing I'm going to speak one of the days. There's 4 days. There's all these amazing lecturers and presenters. There's going to be sound healing, nurses. Oh my gosh, I'm so honored to be able to join for a day. So I'm going to be posting more about that on the group and on the page as I get more of the information. We just kind of talked about it yesterday. And that's in July. And she still has spots available for it, you guys. It's like you stay there. Everything is provided for you. You're fed. You get meditation time. You get private time. You get lectures. It's going to be amazing. I'm honored. So those are the announcements. We have one more slot for card pull, and I didn't see anybody request it, but I'm going to go ahead and start with Melanie. Let's see. Thank you. I'm sorry. I wanted to tell you. So you had mentioned, and you mentioned it on the show. So I hope I'm not breaking anything. If you don't want me to mention what you'd said, then just say shh really quickly. But you mentioned that you were forgotten for the card pull, and you were totally forgotten. And then you mentioned that it's like the story of your life. Yes, Andrea, you can. Perfect. So what I wanted to say was that when we have that, it's because we have a little part of ourselves. And let me just feel yours for a moment, if I have your permission. Okay, great. Thank you that you don't mind. Always a reason, yeah. So your little girl state, hold on. So I get there's a sort of a little bit of it was safer to not be noticed at points, but more so it was just easier. Like, oh, I don't have to deal with all of that if they just don't even notice me. And that was a decision that she made. And so that's an energy that kind of is projecting out. And so whenever it's something that you don't really want to deal with, like you're probably asking for a card pull because there's something that you really want to understand better, or a challenge or excitement, or, whether it's negative or positive in its polarity, it's polarized, right? So you're probably like, ooh, I want to go and do this thing. But the little girl's like, oh my God, but it'd be so much easier if she just doesn't even pull my card. And it's this little girl part. So like, to me, I think that you'll find her, and that you probably already even know who I'm talking about, what that part of you is, what that age maybe is. But that's the work that we're doing right now. I posted something in the group just this morning about, it was just a little blurb by one of the other energy workers that I kind of really trust and value his input. And I like his perspective. His filters jive with my filters. And that's about how right now the energy that's coming through is where we're all getting new mirrors. We're all facing a whole new mirror of ourselves. We are the ones that needed to break off. Those filters and perspectives are breaking now. Like, that's what's happening for people. So we're seeing a lot of shifting and changing in relationship dynamics, in membership of relationships and interactions and groups and collaborations. I just left a collaboration and it opened me up to be much more where I wanted to be. So breaking collaborations and opening room for others, right? This willingness, and we talked about this in a meditation earlier this week, to have our boat lifted up and out of the water and feeling a little bit like off our rockers, so that we can be released from re-engaging in the world until we're done dealing with the trigger and learning what the trigger has to say. So mirroring systems are shifting and changing also right now. So your card pull, I just wanted to tell you that because, you know, that was part of it. All right, let's see who wants to talk. Ganesh does. And how are you guys today? How is everybody? Will I get the cards ready? Finish off my coffee. Been making so many things. I'm going to be going over to see Connie in a little bit and go make some baskets. So excited. I'm going to bring my basket over to finish it, and then you guys can see my other one, because I think she's right. I think seagrass is what needs to go in the bottom of that. Better but no sleep. So no sleeping. Interesting. Let's think about that a little bit. I know. While we're doing card pulls, we have this amazing collection of gifted, powerful individuals. So if Andrea is having, or Adrian, excuse me, Adrian, not Andrea, yes, Adrian, is having trouble sleeping, how about you guys, if she gives her permission, tune into her and see what you can pull or surmise, or if she's interested and you're interested, flowing some of your energy, just practicing in this communal exchange in this morning time. That would be a fun way to play this morning. I know, play in the sunshine, right? It's amazing. I'm loving the sunshine too. And so many amazing cloud formations. Did you guys see the picture that Shauna posted for the feather clouds in the sky above her house? Not that I'm surprised, Shauna. Okay, so let's see, Melanie. Oh, interesting. This is interesting, and it kind of actually relates, Melanie. I'm just going to look it up because it's easier to do that before I start reading it or show it. So it's card number 32, steadfastness. Let's see. Can you see that? There we go. Do not waver back and forth or be moved by the circumstances that are surrounding you at this time. Be focused on your purpose and unwilling to be swayed by by what other people think that, or by what you perceive. Sorry, that was weirdly written. Ganesh heartens you by relieving. Let me go back. Something is weird here. Yeah, the clouds are awesome. Hello, Elaine. Let me go back and reread that. Be focused on your purpose and unwilling to be swayed by what other people think, or by what you perceive. Ganesh heartens you by revealing that when you know your effort is not futile, you will be steadfast and movable. This seems to be a major stumbling block in your life at this time. Perhaps your current job gives little recognition, with no real sense of accomplishment or success. You may feel unheard by your relationships. Possibly the error lies in the fact that in your heart, you really feel your struggle is hopeless. You may recognize it on an intellectual level, but you are easily shaken when you do not see the fruit of your exhaustion. cool. You guys definitely want to experience Shauna's energy share. Let me just throw that out there. Once you feel what it feels like to have that support, her filter tunes that angelic energy just so beautifully as it translates into this creation. She's a really beautiful filter for that energy. I love her support. She's helped me with a lot of physical pain, a lot of emotional pain, a lot of spiritual pain. So check that out. That's an offer right there. Ganesh is pictured here riding the elephant to engage you in the energy of the elephant spirit. Elephants can teach you that kindness, dedication, and communication in relationships is very powerful. They remind you that it is necessary to keep relationships alive, trusting, and loving, whether the relationship is with friends, family, or partner. Deeply faithful to all creatures with which they have relationships, elephants are tough when protecting others and gentle when nurturing them. The matriarch, the oldest, most experienced female of the herd, leads in a way that is both gentle and inclusive. Elephants are able to communicate telepathically. When you draw this card, your ability to truly listen to others is enhanced. Do whatever is necessary to safeguard your resolve. You are receiving guidance that this is the time to dig in. Remain focused and don't get caught up in trying to create a change. The energy of your job or relationship is ever changing. Ask Ganesh to bring you the strength to work through what is happening. Stay committed and on track. Don't give up, as change will show up soon and the situation will be transformed. I know, I love this card, isn't it? Shauna does have a major. Yeah, I love that card. And that's, I honestly, I really love, this is Angela Hartfield's work. She's the one who created this Ganesh deck. It's called Whispers of Lord Ganesh. And honestly, you guys, just pulling one of these a day for myself in the mornings, and it just sets the tone for the day. And it helps me to be so productive. And one other thing that I want to throw out there, and this is in relationship to the steadfastness, I feel like, Melanie, let me just feel for a moment. I feel like you have ideas and things that are going on, and a lot of them. And oh, wonderful! I'm so glad. I'm so glad that's what you needed. And it's making me want to share with you, like, one of the things that I do for myself in the day is I always have a clipboard, right, off to the side with a blank piece of paper. And as my day evolves, I can't tell you how many different creative ideas I get in a day, especially when I'm in that flow and I'm working. I lose probably like 3/4 of them. So as I'm going through the day, I have all these papers and I can write down anything that pops in my mind. And then I have all the windows open, right? So like I'm like, oh, I need to make this correction in the card as a result of this thing I noticed in the workbook. Because see, I'm making a whole system around chakras. So like having to cross-reference, okay, this is my Excel spreadsheet, this is my blah, 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 all of that. Well, I keep those organized on my computer, but my ideas, like my thoughts, like, ooh, I want to add that to this, I want to add that to this, and like this is how I kind of track it. So I've got my higher level ideas. These are the different projects I'm working on right now. And as I'm hitting into that and doing research or noting what I want to know or having an idea about, I flesh it out more and more and more. So obviously this is the newest idea. And I always put the newest at the very top because that's where stuff's really going to be flushing out from. This is kind of what I'm thinking of the chakra deck to look like, just playing around with it. So we have to create ourselves in a situation for success when we have that kind of level of stuff going on. And it also helps us to release those things that we don't actually have to think about, because so-and-so having a bad day or so-and-so needing something from us, or a belief that we're not good, that's not written on the list. So when we go back and we're like, what? Okay, wait, where am I at? I just had this negative feeling or thought or this really negative interaction with somebody. I don't have to sit there and mull over that to find my creative thoughts again. They're right there in front of me. I'm like, oh, right, this is actually what I'm focused on. Here we go. Yeah, all right. So I always make sure I'm putting encouraging little things and thoughts and ideas, and I write in a way that makes me want to look at it, and just to throw that out there too. Because I think all of us in this group are creator beings, and we're here to bring in these messages that we're receiving from this infinite creation, right? Like however we're receiving them. Okay, so staying organized, but also being in that allowance state. Okay, Kristen, we're going to pull for you next. Oh, the Earth Magic cards. Cool. And you know, honestly, I'm going to share one other thing with you guys. I love having it on blank paper, and I have a pen that I really love to write with. Those are two things that really encourage you to do this. And you know, before I got married and we had my baby, and you know, became like an at-home woman, I was a project manager at a document imaging firm where we took companies' paperwork and turned it into digital and tried to get them off the papers, right? So like, I get not trying to stay digital as much as possible, but there's just nothing that beats an idea board, however that is, right? I mean, there's so many schools of thought about that, and so many different ways that we can approach it. But nice little clipboard is something that's easy, and I have a whole bunch of white papers on there. And so I only take them off the clipboard once I've either transferred them to a new list or I'm done with them. All right. Oh yeah, and the picture with my new keyboard. Oh my God. Look, you guys, my keyboard, it's wireless, so I can just move it all around. Oh my God, I can move it everywhere. I love that. And my mouse. I won't do that with my mouse. Okay, so let's see. Kristen. Ooh. Somebody's energy just shifted a little bit. Oh, I am right-handed. But I'm actually, well, it just depends on what I'm doing. I'm fairly ambidextrous, actually. I mostly write with my right hand. Oh, you know what, Shauna, it was on Amazon. It's a Logitech keyboard and mouse, and I think it was only $39. So maybe if you get a couple of extra readings, I think it would be great for you too, because I know you work on a laptop also and are mobile, and anyway. And mostly my excuse in justifying, well, first of all, I had half my keys not working. I know my kid spilled something on my keyboard when he was not even supposed to be on my computer while I was gone. That little, but anyway, so I sold it to my husband because I'm like, wires, hey, that's less wires the bunny could chew. All right. This morning I was telling her that when she peed again on the couch this morning, that's why that's there right now. I told her, you're going to be in trouble. He might want fricasseed rabbit someday, and I'd have a hard time justifying it. Just kidding. Yeah, it's a great price. Yeah. And apparently my dad has the same keyboard and mouse because my son's all, you know, Grandpa Andy has that one too. Let's see. Oh my God, this is my favorite. This is my favorite card from the whole deck, and you guys are going to see why in just a second. After steadfastness, this is the perfect follow-up card, and it's perfect for all of us, really. I'm not going to read the whole description because she's got, well, it's a pretty long description, so I might just jump pretty quickly. It does not work. No peeing on the couch. That is unacceptable. Unacceptable. She's going to spend a lot of time in the cage today. And she knows. She knows. And I think I'm going to have to get another little litter box for on the couch and just put it where she's been peeing until she starts using it again. And maybe that's what she needs. Lazy rabbit. Okay. So here's your card, Kristen. This is Dragonfly Emergence. Is that not the best card? Look at that. I just absolutely love the detail on this card. The dragonflies, the lotus blossoms coming up out of the swamp, out of the marshes, with the grasses all around. Ugh, I love this card, seriously, you guys. In the stages of the life cycle of a dragonfly, once the egg is laid upon a floating plant or dropped into the water, It gestates, hatches, and may remain for up to 4 years in this larvae form called the nymph. Isn't that awesome? This is a precursor to the dragonfly. Dragonflies skip the cocoon stage, moving from egg directly to nymph. At some point, a nymph climbs onto a rock or leaf and there emerges from its former body and takes on the shape and character of the adult dragonfly. So it's actually it's not like a normal making a cocoon and then shifting out. The new body is growing inside of the old body. And imagine what that would feel like. You know, you're a nymph and you're walking around and you're like, oh God, something's, you know? And slowly that new body takes over the entire vessel of the old body, controlling it and directing it to go counterintuitive up out of its watery environment, right? It's telling this thing to do something that this animal for 4 years of its life has known to be its home, what it is, where it lives. All it can do is be in the water. It's not like it's a air breathing thing. It eats bugs and lives underwater. And then this new body emerges and it splits open its back and out comes this dragonfly. Like, how friggin' cool is that? And how often do we feel like inside of our bodies, what is going on? That's why so many of us are going to the hospital and having exploratory surgeries and all of these invasive scans and all sorts of things going on right now. But it's because we are building a new body. And we have to, because our planetary environment is changing. And then think about it metaphysically, right? So let's just hold that for a minute. It's pretty big, right? Cool. I mean, that's what I think of when I think of the dragonfly. At some point, the nymph climbs onto a rock or leaf and there emerges from its former body and takes on the shape and character of the adult dragonfly. This radiant being then proceeds to illuminate our eyes and hearts as we witness its dramatic colors and magical dance along the surface of the water. In this card, we see a nature goddess like the dragonfly emerging from the water, her hair braided with vines, dotted with flowers. Here we go. She is surrounded by dragonflies and is one with a vibrant plant life thriving in the pond. The goddess emerges from her gestation in the water transformed, with a renewed sense of purpose and power. You are in an intense process of emergence into the next cycle of your life. And it's intense. And yeah, when I first started having to shift my energy, it was because I was starting to tune into you. So you're definitely shifting. It's a big shift. That when I do that, that's transmutation, shifting, turning of energy, converting it, shifting up, shifting down, whatever, shifting sideways. Unlike more gradual shifts in awareness, you have experience. This one is happening quite rapidly and came on somewhat unexpectedly, without any pauses for contemplation or indecision. You may even think that you are unprepared for such dramatic changes in your life, yet you are prepared. And you can put it to use, the experiences and wisdom that you've accumulated up to now. Life is demanding that you move into the next stage of maturity. This requires you to adjust your thinking about yourself, others, and your community. It calls for you to shed yet another layer of your ego-filled defenses and let go of any illusions of being less than who you are. This period of emergence is one of broadened consciousness and heightened perceptual capacities, and since it is inevitable, it is best to surrender to the flow and allow yourself to gracefully move into the next cycle of your life. So, this is one of those times, it's the hardest thing that we can possibly do, to just let go, right? That nymph if it stayed down in the water, then that dragonfly would drown. It wouldn't be able to fly and blossom and be who it needed to be. So oftentimes just the most painful of experiences are that rock that breaks our bow, that forces us to take the boat out of the river. Hi, Claire. I can't believe you're still awake. She's in Australia. Maybe you needed to hear that, my darling. You probably did. I know that you're doing some bow breaking right now, too. So, Andrea, last card pull. Ooh, the dreamscapes. The Dreams of Gaia. Sorry, Dreams of Gaia Tarot. Gotta sip my water. All right, let's see. So this is for Andrea. Yeah, I've been talking with so many different people right now that are having physical struggles with various aspects of their body right now. You just woke up. A lot of pain in the top of the head. That's definitely emergence and crown pain, Shauna. Let me go back and look and see. Yeah. All right. So let's see what Gaia has to say to us. And to Andrea. Okay. So you got I believe, let me just check and make sure. Yeah. The very last lesson of the major arcana. So I'm just going to throw this out there. For those of you who are not tarot readers, who are not familiar with the structure of the tarot is basically broken up into two separate decks. There's it within the whole deck, right? So there's the major arcana and the minor arcana. 333, beautiful, perfect timing. The major arcana are, according to the author of each tarot deck, the hierarchical lessons and steps of growth and development an individuation goes through as they go from having nothing, no experience, the zero, the fool, having no preconceived notions, no awareness, no experience, never been in the situation before, just drops in, comes with nothing yet, in a total state of allowance, and then begins to experience things, learns the mechanics of everything, becomes the magician, right? Learns how to use the different elements that are available, then learns how to play with those elements and starts to get ideas about them. And then how do I manifest the ideas? And oh, now how do I organize everything I've manifested? Oh, now how do I bring other people into the, so it's a continuation of lessons until you get to the point where you're like, oh, okay, this is big. Now it's all falling apart. Now it's about deconstructing, and then you go down the bottom circle of that wheel, and it's all about the uncovering, the understanding, the awareness, the releasing, all the way to break you back, all the way back down to where you have full awareness and you know what that lesson was about. And then that's usually the world card, getting that full perspective, and then you step back out and you're the fool and you start a new lesson. And the minor arcana are those same lessons, but they're broken down into attributes. So they're told in the story or context of an element, right? So the pentacles are earth and things, and the money and the manifestation and the physicality of things, layers of tradition and growth. So, and then the swords are intellect and how we think about things, our perceptions, our anxieties. The cups are our heart, our emotions, how we hold our energy, our subconscious, the waters, right? And then, and the swords are also air. And then the wands are fire and creation and passion that social dynamic and structure, the built things that are really a layer upon layer kind of a story thing. So the card that we pulled today is Faith, and it's the last card. Check that out. Turtle, wolf, crane, tree, water, rainbow, angelic, the one eye, the golden crown, and the heart, right? Look at all that symbolism in this card. Now you guys see why I told you all that? Let's see. I'm just going to try and find a place I can hold it comfortably for the time that there we go. To have faith, the seven of the influence card, the seventh of the influence cards. And by the way she structures her deck, the major arcana are broken up into even different more. And she broke out 7 of the major arcana, this being the 26th. So hers is just structured a little differently. Of the major life lessons, influence cards, is a beautiful thing. It inspires a feeling of serenity that is unshakable. With faith comes a level of self-confidence that sees you capable of overcoming all that life throws at you. To have self-belief gives you confidence when facing new and challenging situations. When out in a social setting, you are comfortable to be yourself. Having self-belief allows you to enjoy life more because you are less troubled by the insecurities. With faith in yourself and your abilities, you stand a greater chance of risks. You are healthier and happier because you are under less pressure and emotional and mental stress. In turn, your relationships with others will be better also. On the other hand, a lack of self-belief or faith can see in our moods, the way we speak about ourselves, our body language and actions. Without faith and belief in self, every decision can become an almost excruciating process. If you do not believe that you will succeed or do well, then sadly there is an increased chance that you will not. Doubt and a lack of faith breeds mistakes, procrastination, and self-sabotage. But know this, you are not unimportant. You are somebody. You are unique. You have gifts. You have strengths. You have talents. You are bright with potential. And if you believe in yourself, you will shine. A little belief can go a long way. With faith and self-belief, you can accomplish great things, even miracles. So let's just think about this in terms of what we've been talking about all week as we wrap up our discussion on the idea of being infected or plagued or, all of that we've been talking about. And now we've had faith, emergence, and steadfastness. From these 3 different perspectives, essentially the same message, right? The same lesson, but told from these slightly different perspectives. So right now, whatever it is that you guys are thinking about making or doing, what I'm doing, what I'm making, this is what's needed right now. When Shauna and I were at the fair this weekend, we had a couple of different people say to us, you guys are bringing in something completely new. And Shauna and I both are the kind of people who struggle to read books and have been actually ridiculed and made fun of by other healers and other workers when they're like, what do you mean you haven't read that? What do you mean you don't read that? Like, honestly, I've never read an Eckhart Tolle book. I've never read a lot of those people's stuff because my filter had to stay clear. I couldn't have the filters of all of these other people influencing me. I've only listened to a handful of Teal Swan talks, a handful of Bentinho talks, a couple handfuls of Bashar talks. But once you start hearing them, it's only to confirm, oh yeah, we're on the feed. Oh, there's their filter. All done. Yay. And so give yourself that permission to free yourself. We talked about licensing earlier, to free yourself from the idea that you have to get a confirmation by being just like somebody else. Get the subtle confirmation. Oh yeah, I'm on the feed. and then move forward. Relax into it, because there's no one who's going to be able to show you who you are. You have to allow yourself to become it. And so in those times we have things that are making it feel impossible to overcome the tragedy of who we are, because trust me, I have gone through it more times than I can count in my life. I'm not immune to it. Having good connection, having clear guidance, being willing to show up, being transparent does not save you from the rocks in your own river, okay? Being able to see other people's rocks in their river does not save me from hitting my own rocks, right? So this is part of the process. And if we can stop getting mad at the rocks for being rocks in our river and start like breathing in and going, oh, I guess it's time to pull out. Right? And just sit with it for a little bit. Maybe I need to look at my boat. Maybe my boat needs to become a kayak for a little while, right? And that doesn't have to hurt. That can be a journey of releasing the whole big vessel. And maybe I was actually thinking I was in a tugboat, but I was in a speedboat. And no wonder I can't pull this gigantic load behind me, right? Or maybe I am a tugboat and I need something to pull to move forward. Maybe I need that big boat to pull forward so I feel like I'm accomplishing something. So just start to get a sense of yourself, not out of who you think you're supposed to be, not out of who somebody else is, not out of the structure that's designed to license you to behave and interact and work in a certain way. This is how we become. This is how we grow. This is how we evolve. And trust me, I needed this message as much as you guys did, the confirmation, because I'm growing some seriously big things. So, beautiful confirmation for all of us. And how about today we just start working on our meditation, and it'll be what it becomes. Exactly. Melanie says, we all hit our own rocks, human tragedy. We don't have to keep beating ourselves up. We can create a little peace and love through a sense of self. Be all we can be without a piece of paper. Yeah, exactly. It's beautiful. Okay. And if you need the paper, then that means that you're going into different fields. You're going to bridge the paper field and the not paper field, right? So if you got all the certificates and you have all of those things, then that's awesome. That means people who only can go to those practitioners that have that, bye Sean, I love you, that have that certificate, then they have somewhere to go. Thank God. Right? We all have to show up how we show up and trust what we've been guided to do. Okay, so let's go ahead and make sure we're sitting comfortably. Whew, already just feeling the shifting. All right, coming into ourselves, feeling the seat beneath us, the bed underneath us, or the floor, wherever you're laying or sitting. Feet on the ground or feet stretched out. We're going to have the bunny bell today. Help clearing energy and thoughts. So go ahead and breathing in this present moment. And releasing. Breathing in, present moment, smelling the air, feeling the temperature. And releasing. Making that circle bigger as we breathe in. Shifting up and releasing. Breathing in, making that circle even bigger. And releasing. taking note of the hooks and the thoughts and the ideas and the little bits of this and that that are pulling your consciousness out into different areas right now. Maybe your creative ideas, maybe your blocks. Just begin as you breathe out, unhooking from those. Breathing in, drawing in those lines of connection, and then releasing, unhooking. Breathing in, taking note of any other things pulling you here and there, and noting them and unhooking as you breathe in, coming more into the present, wholly here and now. Just hearing my voice and the bell and maybe any other little sounds that are around you, coming present, here and now. Continuing your breathing as you feel that Gaia energy, as you've built this relationship with her over these many weeks. We've been doing this now, gosh, months. Welcoming her into the vessel as she comes up and through the legs and the hips. Up through that spine and abdomen, through her root. And our sacral, through this new body that's growing inside of us, and this old body that's still carrying us where we need to go till we get there. Breathing in, drawing that energy as it rises up into the solar plex, the sense of self as the self is changing and emerging and seeing all of itself. Looking in new mirrors, breathing up, filling the heart and lungs, filling ourselves with that love that Gaia has for us as an individuation, as a creation, that love and acceptance that we have of her for being our planetary mother, our sacred feminine. Feeling that love, filling, even rolling your shoulders, rolling your arms back can open the chest cavity even more. Really filling. I like to move around while I'm meditating. If you guys work with me, you'd see that too. Moving, working, shifting, releasing, aligning, allowing, unattaching, anchoring. Doing all of that. Whatever it is that's needed, freeing myself from the expectation that meditation is one thing other than being present. That's it. Really filling up that throat, breathing in and opening up that vibrant throat chakra, sharing what we've come here to share, our voice, singing it out, speaking it out, maybe holding the voice for certain things, certain times as we allow the power to build so it can come out of us more strengthened, more strong. Or maybe we're supposed to be whispering into the creation over all the time, just whispers of Gaia. Breathing through that throat, really opening it as Gaia opens and unfolds within your throat chakra. Bringing it up and in, breathing it into the head space, clearing out that head space, just flushing like a cool breeze flowing through the mind as Gaia opens into that third eye. And she opens her eyes. Feeling that Gaia energy coming up into the crown as the crown yawns and opens to receive that light of source that's already shining down upon you. Feeling that light, rich like honey water, pouring down through your crown, really connecting you with your highest of thought and highest of self as it pours into this third eye headspace. Feeling it pouring down into that mouth and ears, how we hear and speak these words that come through us from divine channels and fractions, whatever they may be. Feeling it fill our throat where we create our vibrational signature. Feeling that throat fill with this golden energy of Source, of the infinite consciousness. Bringing it down, breathing it into the heart and lungs as that honey water fills our chest, goes out our arms and just comes bursting out of our palms. Like a hot, soft mist. So sweet. Just a little salty. Gaia's water. Bringing that energy down into the solar plexus. We open ourselves into who we are, who we actually can be, which is everything. All of the creation. We have all of each other inside of us. We are all one infinite being. Just like Gaia is one infinite planet, divine in her nature, right? Breathing it into our sacral, really opening that space, just like when we blow on a nice campfire and its flame bursts even bigger. More creation, more ability, more fire in our belly, more drive to get us moving forward, taking those steps that fear has blocked us from making. Feel those hard spots in that lower back. Use them as logs on that flame to really burn them up and release them from the tissue and open up that creative space so it's not built and boxed and walled in. Right? Open it up. Breathing it down into the root, where we anchor all of this that we create, all that we do, all that we make and build. We're anchoring it into this creation. Really send those roots down deep. As Gaia and Source commune with each other through your vessel, through the conduit you are. As you open up even more, allowing these energies to all attune to each other and come into balance. In this space, allow who it is that you've come here to be that's been growing under the surface, that's been living inside of your nymph self, to emerge effortlessly and gracefully. To begin to emerge out the back, out the crown, out the front. Let yourself emerge. Shake that old shell off. Let your wings unfold and feel the wind in them. And let yourself become. Thanks for coming today, you guys. Connie, I'll see you in a little bit. I can't wait to see your dragonfly selves. See you guys tomorrow. Q&A Friday.